The most dangerous part of trading isn't losing money, it's losing control. A drawdown can make you feel completely helpless, but it doesn't have to. I'm gonna show you my exact step-by-step system for handling drawdowns and getting your mind and your P&L back on track. Proactively implementing steps 2 and 4 from this video will one day help you avoid some major losses and could save your trading career. I'm Lance Breitstein, one of Wall Street's top traders with over $100 million in verified profits. And the truth is, I've been in some massive drawdowns over my career. So all of these steps were learned from personal experience. I've even shared a video about how I lost over $2 million in less than an hour of trading and the lessons I took away from it. It's linked in the description. These best practices have become the go-to protocol for getting hundreds of traders at Trillium, S&B Capital, and at home safely out of their P&L drawdowns. Despite what people think, yes, I am human. And those large losses would absolutely devastate me, psychologically and mentally. My weekend would be ruined. I'd fall asleep with a pit in my stomach and wake up with that same heaviness weighing over me. Will I ever get out of this drawdown? How long will it take? All my confidence and positive momentum shattered. But here's the thing about drawdowns. The more drawdowns you persevere through, the more resilient you become as a trader. You begin to develop a confidence that even though it seems dark, you have been here before and you will get through it again. You even start to learn from all of these experiences. You adapt, and through those lessons, the drawdowns become less severe and less psychologically damaging to you. Having been in at least 20 major drawdowns throughout my career, these are the 10 steps I've learned from them to stop the bleeding and get you back on track towards profitability. Before we even get started, it is worth saying that trading stress is real. Do not let others minimize your pain. Losses can be truly traumatic events and put you in irregular or dangerous states of mind. So first of all, log out when you need to. If you need professional help, seek it. There is no shame. I use a trading psychologist and so do many others. Now, step 1, regain perspective. We must always remember that by definition, losing and overcoming P&L holes are part of being a trader. Accept it, even though it doesn't necessarily make it any easier at the time. Dealing with adversity is necessary for every performance endeavor, whether you're a poker player, pro athlete, or a trader. No matter how good you are, there will be slumps. There will be drawdowns, and this is something we need to learn to work through. In fact, one cannot grow as a trader without taking larger losses. One story that I always remember is what my trainer told me about one of his biggest losses at the time. He was growing and blossoming as a trader, and then he took this massive loss in Google earnings. While I don't recall what the details were, I do recall what his dad's comments were to him. He called his dad on the phone and told his dad all about this loss and how it seemed to him like the end of the world. His dad said to him, "Don't worry, over time, you're going to have bigger losses. It's part of growing." Why did he say that? It's because his dad recognized that bigger losses are an inevitable part of growing and trading bigger as a trader. Having bigger and bigger wins inevitably goes hand in hand with bigger and bigger losses. And if you're going to have a long career, there's nothing but certainty that your losses will only get bigger as you grow. It's important to also remember that learning from these losses improves you as a trader. They're a necessary evolution you need to take to ensure you become a more resilient and safer trader as you grow. Losses allow you to fix flaws in your trading. Here are a few other tricks I use to keep perspective. But first, quick plug. If you want to accelerate your path to profit, consider joining my trading course. It's the most comprehensive and actionable trading course on the market. Now back to your regular scheduled programming. Tricks to keep perspective. First is the 24-hour rule. Olympian and Hall of Fame coach Dawn Faley, she would say after any win or loss, her team gets 24 hours to mope over it or to celebrate. After that, it's back to work and focusing on the next challenge of how to get better. So after 24 hours, I try my best to accept the loss. There is no undo button in this game. Nothing will magically make the money come back. Worrying about it isn't actionable. It's time to move on and focus on what we can control. Learn what you can from the loss, then never think about it again and build the habit of not allowing yourself to ruminate or have negative self-talk. Solutions-focused thinking only. One other story I like to tell is the story of your worst day is my best day. I was trading and I took some massive loss in a biotech stock. I logged out, I was done for the day, past my daily loss limit. As I was walking home in a miserable, depressed mood, I saw a homeless person and he had a sign that said, "Your worst day is my best day." I'll never forget that because that perspective was so important. Here I was, it felt like the end of the world, yet for this man that was living on the streets without a home or without money or without the ability to feed himself, what would he give to be able to take that loss, but still have a home and still have support behind him? After that, whenever I have these bad days, I think about that moment and know that so many other people would give anything to be in that position with me. I think we all have these memories or these things that we are grateful for that can help keep us grounded during these times. What are those personal reminders for you for next time you take that loss? Step 2. Now that we have a little bit of an improved perspective, the next step is stop digging and set a reduced daily loss limit. It's so cliche, but it's so true. Depending on the severity of your hole, you might need to reduce your size, your lockout, or totally stop trading altogether while taking some days off. Almost every horror story I hear about stems from one fact: the trader did not have any predetermined loss limits. Every day trader should have a daily loss limit, and every swing trader should also have weekly or monthly loss limits. In an ideal world, these need to be instituted at your broker so that you cannot overrule them in the moment. Good brokers that help traders succeed allow you to set daily loss limits and help protect you from your worst self. Again, having some form of loss limit as a trader is non-negotiable. We all learn this the hard way though. Kyle Williams, an amazing 7-figure trader that I'm privileged to be friends with, also had to learn it the hard way. David Hanlon, another amazing 7-figure trader that I'm friends with, had to learn it the hard way as well. There is an endless amount of failed traders that never got a second chance because they told themselves these were not necessary. They are. If you think otherwise, you just have not found out the hard way yet. Step 3 is to learn from the loss. The only bad loss is one you don't learn from or one that takes you out of the fight. Your tuition has already been paid. You already took the loss. You can't undo it. So you might as well take the class and learn from it, right? Start to dissect the trade. You want to identify all the primary and secondary causes of the loss. By primary cause, it might mean maybe you didn't take your stop. Maybe you messed up an entry. Maybe you chased. Then what I mean by secondary cause is there something psychological that could have led to that? Maybe you felt FOMO, maybe you were on tilt, maybe you were poorly slept or something. Then you want to propose thorough solutions that might help you in the future. When possible, ask other traders for their thoughts and feedback on how they might have faced or resolved this issue as well. Step 4 is to set guardrails. Every single trader should have a set of rules for minimizing drawdowns. At what amount of losses will you start to reduce size and reduce your daily loss limit? What steps will you take to ensure you never draw down a certain amount that'll mess up your psychology and confidence? If you don't have these already, it is so important to put these guardrails in place before you start trading again. Many traders often take a totally manageable loss, ignore the discomfort that stems from objectively assessing it, but then instead go on trading and snowball the manageable loss into an unmanageable, miserable loss. After any big loss, you always want to pause and reflect on how much are you willing to lose from here. In what manner are you willing to lose that amount and how much at a single time? What will you do at each subsequent loss limit? What is your absolute maximum loss amount before you're going to take time off? Equally important is knowing when and how you will allow yourself to size back up. Often traders might draw down into a hole and say they lose 20 grand. They make it back to negative 15 grand and they think, oh, everything's fine. I'm going to just go right back to my old size and my old ways, only to find themselves falling back into the hole again. Let's give you some concrete examples of these guardrails. For sizing down, your rule might be at a 10 grand hole, I'm going to cut my daily stop 50% and create a drawdown playbook, which I'm going to get into. Then a subsequent rule might be if negative 3 days in a row, or at a 15 grand hole, if things get worse, I will cut my stop to 75% of the original amount. You can even add a final layer. If another 3 negative days after that, or a 20 grand hole, I'm going to take a mental break until clear-headed. Maybe that break will be a minimum of 3 trading days, then 25K might be your hard maximum loss that you're willing to draw down. At that point, maybe you need to take extreme measures, like hiring a trading psychologist or seeking help from a mentor, or really taking some time away. Only then will you allow yourself to trade ultra small size or paper trade. When you are struggling that bad, you must reduce your size drastically. Maybe even 95% of your original size, and your sole goal is just to make a few small trades, follow your system rules each day while building back confidence and selectivity. As you start to catch your stride again, you want prudent rules for when to size back up. When is it safe for you to start to add risk back on? Maybe it's after being positive 3 days, or you've reduced your hold to just 5 grand. Maybe then you'll allow yourself to increase your daily stop. Or maybe after being positive 5 days in a row, or being back to flat out of the hole. The main point is that it's so important to proactively have these rules so that you don't willy-nilly compound your issue further. Risk management is one of the most important skills you need to learn as a trader, which is why I'm sharing my lessons specifically on risk management in an upcoming video. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Step 5, create a drawdown playbook. If you don't know what a trading playbook is, watch my video on this topic because I can't stress enough how important this is. Many traders get into these drawdowns, but they still might be taking low probability trades, or they still might not be adapting to what the market is now telling them. So what does a drawdown playbook do? It forces you to focus on base hits only, no home runs. You need to ask yourself, what are your highest probability trades and what are you willing to risk in them? Similarly, what higher variance trades must you avoid? If you're in a hole and you're having trouble controlling your risk, you probably don't want to get stuck in stocks that are halting left and right or wild overnight positions that don't allow you to control that risk. You don't want to get into a lot of hard money that entails a lot of risk or frustration. All your review work should be directed towards what is the easiest money each day. Forget expanding your playbook, forget tech improvements, forget all the fancy stuff. Your sole focus now is to obsessively find and hit the easiest singles along with a do no damage mindset each day. Now keep in mind that for most intraday traders, this also means no overnights. Most overnights open you up to overnight risk, news, and an assortment of other issues. They tend to be much higher variance than the traditional intraday playbook. If that sounds like you and your trading, I urge you to reflect on what are the plays you should be involved in and which plays do you need to cut out during these times. Step 6. Mike Bellafiore of S&B Capital says it best. Double down on your best practices that have led to your success in the past. What do you normally do well and what has helped you when you've been in past holes? Focus on proper sleep, exercise, diet, and most of all, no drinking. You need to be in your absolute best mental state possible, focused and ready to go. You don't want to make some dumb, careless mistake due to a lack of sleep that you're then going to regret because you snowballed yourself further. If some complacency led to your hole and you've stopped doing a daily report card, you need to go back and do that. I so often see traders regressing because of complacency. They've stopped doing things like a daily report card or reviewing where the easy money is. They've stopped communicating with their team and doing the practices that led to their success. Step 7 is where it gets fun. Stack small wins and build back your confidence. Your sole goal is to build that positive feedback loop, not to make money. Get that confidence back and further cement your positive mental state. Each day, you're striving for singles to get a green number on the P&L board. Only take easy money trades that smack you in the face. Your goal is never to make the hole back tomorrow or the next day or the next week. Your goal is to move one step closer in mindset each day. Step 8, along that line of thinking is take no steps backwards. There will be negative days, but just don't let your process falter. Stick with the daily report card, stick with your daily review processes, and do not let complacency rear its head again as you're trying to get out of the hole. Big rips happen, but most sustained drawdowns I've seen tend to be caused by people forgetting the practices that led them to success. Most of all, resist the urge to bet big to get out of the hole. That is faulty logic. What makes it dangerous is this. If you're missing something in the market, or the market's changed and you haven't adapted, or you're fighting trends, then betting big before you spot those problems will only make things snowball even faster. I see it all the time where traders think they just hit a bad run of luck, but the reality is they're fighting trends and betting big only compounds their losses. Step 9 is to break your recovery into baby steps. Now that you're building that positive feedback loop, one good best practice is to make the hole bite-sized and focus one bite at a time. If you're in a 10 grand hole, don't focus on the 10, but how can you make the next $1,000? Or how can you just be green on the week or green 3 days in a row? Visualize each baby step and celebrate the small wins. To be clear, by celebrating the small wins, I mean healthy celebrations, not sleepless, all-night alcohol binge types of celebrations there. And never ever focus on the whole loss. I always remind my traders that it takes a really long time to get out of a hole quickly, but it takes a short time to get out of a hole gradually. A lot of young bucks can hear that, but it doesn't mean they listen. Step 10 is some final do's and don'ts. A lot of people fall for the trap of hopelessness, where they wrongfully think to themselves, if I reduce my size to X, it'll take me 200 or 300 or 500 days to get out of this hole. But here's the thing, when you start to cut your size or cut your limits, that doesn't mean you're gonna be on those reduced limits forever. That doesn't mean you need to make it all back in the same one trade that you lost it in. Again, This is a long-term process to get you back on the road gradually and safely, right? So resist that urge to think, oh, it's gonna take me X amount of days. Whatever it is, it is. The most important thing is that you make it to the other side. Remember, P&L is a lagging measure of your changes. Just because you spent 6 months forgetting about your daily report card and now you do it 1 or 2 nights in a row again, that doesn't mean the hole just goes away and you magically make the money back. You need to put the time in, then eventually the results come after a lag. One other thing I often hear is people reflect on what went wrong and they say, I was only trading high probability setups. I did nothing wrong. Most of the time, that really isn't true. Math doesn't lie. If you're negative 5 days in a row, 10 days in a row, 15 days in a row, or a bunch out of the month, and you're trading multiple trades per day, yet viewing them each as high probability, guess what? The math doesn't lie and it's not true. Odds are you're missing something. So often during these periods of drawdown, people are either fighting the trend or not adapting. Begin your search with those each time. Remember, every hole gets easier. Once you've been out of one, you can remind yourself you've gotten out before and keep going back to that playbook. If you've been successful for any period of time, you have the ability in you to do so again. Finally, I'll leave you with my personal motto. Cherish the good times, there will be tough times ahead. Then push through the tough times because there will be good times ahead. This I promise you. You will be a better trader for this experience. Even if it's hard to see at times, every trader that's risen to the top knows this through their own periods of hard times. Keep on fighting.